I understand that the automatic thoughts that concern CBT are thought to be qualitatively different and distinguishable from quote-unquote other thoughts. But the more general idea that our thoughts are often inaccurate representations of reality and our feelings aren't facts raises a difficult question for me as a therapist and person, which is, how and when are possibly inaccurate perceptions simply subjective perceptions that express important elements of oneself that should not be adjusted, referenced, etc., but rather listened to and acted on? I sense that CBT could be used to persuade a square peg to fit into a round hole rather than to go find a square hole. In the case of depression, I see that the direction of adaptive thinking is clear, but in other situations it seems more ambiguous to say which thought and action is more adaptive. Could you comment on this?
What I think is the more vital thing that we as cognitive therapists have to deal with. There's two aspects that you bring out. One is fitting a square peg into a round hole, which I can get to in a minute. But the other is we have a stream of thoughts all the time, and we go into situations where we have cognitive responses. So the mind is always active, and it's not only not necessary to look at all the thoughts, but it is paralyzing to do it. So when I originally started writing about automatic thoughts, we would only talk about those automatic thoughts that produce some kind of unpleasant affect. So, and what would typically happen, let's say I come in here and all of a sudden I feel anxious. Then I think back, what was I thinking? What thought went through my mind right then? And then I think, oh, they're all going to hoot and yell or something like that. And then I could reality test it. And if it was likely that they would hoot and yell, which can happen, so I would say, well, if they do, so what? They're not going to take away my livelihood, they're not going to take away my family, whatever it is. So I would use a problem-solving thing. So either I would make a decision to correct the automatic thought, or I would use some problem-solving.